Thanks for buying the IRC tire with the tube set. If you guys are going to change your tires yourself, it's pretty easy. If you have the right tools, you can do it right the very first time without popping the tube or having any problems with it. Not too many tools are needed. You're going to need a 1/2-inch wrench. You're going to need a valve stem tool and a set of tire irons. To start, you're going to have to remove the tire from the Segway. When you remove the tire, you can also get to the fender bolts, which are a Torx head. If you have a broken fender or anything like that, now's the time to replace it. On the old style Segway, there was a kickstand that you needed to take the tire and the fender off to get to. On the Gen 2, you don't need to take the fender off to do the kickstand. But when you have it off, look down there and see if you can see anything leaking from the gearbox. Check and see if this flange is tight, or if it was bent. If the flange was bent, the tire wouldn't come off so easy. You would have hesitated, you would have had to pound it out. Okay, to remove the tire from the rim, first you're going to need to remove the valve stem from the tube and use a valve stem removal tool. And they come in a tire patch kit. You can buy a tire patch kit for about $1.99. So you just go in there and catch the lip. Once you pull the valve stem out, all the air will come out. Next, you're going to want to break the bead on the tire. You can use a pair of vice grips. You can use some wood clamps. We have a real old-fashioned bead breaker right here. It's an old-fashioned tire machine or bead breaker. We got it from the Northern Tools catalog for $69 delivered. Okay, once you have the bead broken on both sides, you can squeeze the tire and get it to drop down into the well. Be careful when you squeeze the tire because you can catch your wrist on the edge of the rim and it'll scrape it up pretty good. And eventually you'll get the tire over one side of the rim. Once you get the tire over the rim, you can pop the tube out, which will give you a little bit more room to play with. There's a little bit of muscle involved in pulling the tire off the rim. Don't try it on a real cold day, the rubber gets stiff. On a nice sunny day, the rubber will get soft and you can pull it off really easy, so it's best to leave your tire out in the sun for a little while before you try to change it. Okay, so we're going to put an IRC tire and tube on this rim. The IRC tires are directional. They have a little arrow on the side that shows you the rotation of the tire. And this is going to be the right rim. So the arrow will follow clockwise from the right. I like to install the tires from the back side, so if you do any nicks to the rims and stuff, it's on the back side of the rim and you won't see it. I also like to put the tube in the tire before I put it on the rim, then it's one easy step instead of trying to put it in afterwards. We're using a Bike Master motorcycle ATV tube. It's still the exact same size that you need. This size here is a 20.75 3.00 14T6, which works perfect. It's a little bit thicker than the stock tube, so it's a little more puncture resistant. To start at the valve stem, and I'm going to push the valve stem through and hold it in place with the nut that came with the tube. This is going to keep the tube from spinning. Okay, so now we're on. We have the direction right, following the arrow for the right tire. And we got to go fill it up with air. This takes the same air pressure as the stock tire. It's going to take 15 pounds of pressure. First, I overfill the tire so that it sets on the rim better, and then I'll drop it down to 15 pounds of pressure. And anywhere between 15 and 18 pounds. 18 pounds is a little stiffer ride. 15 pounds, it's going to mushroom out real nice, and this is going to give you a lot better traction than actually the stock tire. Plus, it's going to last 2 to 3 times as long as this tool to remove the valve stem from the old tube so you can get all the air out easy. You're going to need a set of tire irons, so that don't use a screwdriver or a butter knife or anything. That'll pinch the tube and easily cut it, and you don't want to pop the tube. You'll have to go through all the steps, taking the tire back off and putting a new tube in. It's really easy. You want to remember, after you remove the valve stem, you'll be able to squeeze the tire enough to drop it down into the well. Once the tire's in the well, you use your tire irons to work the tire off the bead going around the tire. After you pull the tire off, remove the tube, then the rest of the tire should come off with your hands. Again, a trick is try to leave your tire in the sun, get it nice and warm. If you're doing this in the Midwest or Milwaukee or in the Northeast or something like that, and it's going to be hard to change a tire this summer, when the tires are cold, they don't ply as much, and it might take a little bit more effort to get the tires on there. But it's pretty easy. You can always call us if you can't figure it out, but hopefully this video will help everybody who's buying the tires. We're selling a lot. This seems to be the #1 tire that people are replacing with for durability and traction. But this procedure works exactly the same with the stock tire. The tires and tubes are available on our website, Segway of Oakland. They're also available on glideforless.com and Segway Junkyard. There's discounts for multiple sets and tour companies. Give us a call, 1-888-SEGWAY. Thanks a lot.